Welcome again to the Benster Show. Today I'm excited. I have a famous TikToker who goes by the name Ndoyisile. So I feel like saying, namhlanje ngise-studio sami. Ngiphethe ijuice yami. Engiyithenge ngemali yami. You know, that is Ndoyisile's content. If you know him, then you will know. Welcome to the Benster Show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
And thank you for coming.
Always a pleasure.
Nina ma-celebrity waka TikTok niyadelela.
Not as such. Not as such.
Ayaqhenza ama-celebrity waka TikTok azibona kahle ukuthi sebo Beyonce. Ene wena uvume kanjani ukuza la eshowini ungasibuzanga nama-question amaningi?
Angazi. Ngithole i-phone call bengilele, then I get a phone call kuthiwa uyafunakala la, and then I'm like, oh, okay, let me just wake up and go. So bona phambili.
You said, you know what, when duty calls. Thank you very much. You
have to respond, yeah.
And thank you for honoring ishow yethu ngokuthi uze. And you know, TikTok page yakho is very busy with exciting content. We are qabula, you know, Jay. Content yakho nje iyaqabula, but who is Ndoyisile? Because I think most people don't know you, your background and stuff like that. Let us unpack that because I don't think you do cover personal issues got TikTok.
Yeah, that's true. So, Ndoyisile is a 23-year-old boy born and raised in Zimbabwe, and started in Zim. And decided to relocate to South Africa in 2020. So I'm a content creator, social media content creator. I'm also a model part-time. And also I have my own brand that I'm running. So yeah, basically that's me.
Yeah, 23-year-old. You still have a journey. Mang bega nje 23-year-old. Damn. Half my age. Half my age, you know. So that means you're young enough to be my son.
Yeah, we can say that.
Yeah.
We can say that. I'll take it.
And then TikTok, how did you get exposed to TikTok?
Funny enough, first time I created a TikTok account, it was in 2019. That was the first time I came to SA, and then
And I think TikTok was new?
Yes, it was quite new, so everyone was just on it and whatsoever, but only a few people understood what's happening and what can you do, and also what can TikTok do for you. So 2019, that's when I had my first account. It's actually the same account that I'm still using now, but then 2019, that's when I opened the account. But then direction, I would just post whatever that I want to post and whatsoever. But then I didn't get any attention whatsoever. You just get like about 50 views, 23 views and whatsoever. And then I took a break. Not over I took a break because I was like, okay, TikTok, I know what I'm doing and whatsoever. No, I took a break because I didn't understand what I was doing.
You
so
didn't
I was just
understand TikTok itself.
Exactly.
And the audience you were engaging with.
So I was just like, you know what, maybe this is not for me. It is to push it aside in Kancane and focus on what's more important. And last year, February, I remember that's the first time I posted a video that went viral. Then I was like, oh, okay, so we are here now. So last year, that's when I started taking the whole content creation thing serious and posted a video on TikTok that went viral. And it made me understand, oh, okay, cool. So this is the person that people want. This is the person that people have been waiting for, and this is the kind of content that people have been wanting. Because the thing with my content is it's different from the rest. I don't do dance challenges. I don't do any of this other stuff that other TikTokers do. I just do me, and my content is reality, and it speaks to someone who is going through something, who is going through a certain stage in life, and it's just to show them you're not the only one. Yes, I'm saying 200 and whatsoever thousand followers, but nami ndiyagoa.
You go through.
Exactly.
Yeah, because recently I think I saw 2 of your videos. There is one video you shot somebody alengise inyawo zakhe efastereni. And then you went like nina bazali nifuna sihlale kanjani emzini yenu because imizi yenu inama terms and conditions. Look at that guy ulilise iy'nyawo
Yes,
zakhe, akana-stress,
having the time of his life.
and having the time of his life. But
Exactly.
you know, I don't know how you fuse reality and humor, because you bring a lot of humor in what you are delivering. But when you listen to it, there is this reality. Even this, what you call, post, lapho othi khona ngiserumini lami, la ngibhadala khona irenti, ngilele embhedeni wami, engiwuthenge ngemali yami, and stuff like that, you
Exactly.
know. I mean, that is so beautiful, because sometimes the sense of independence, some people have never enjoyed that.
That's true.
Someone is living their parents until the age of 60, until the age of whatever.
That's
so they will never know what it takes to take responsibility for your own life, you know. But then when TikTok started booming for you, were you not shocked?
I was shocked because it's something that I'd never experienced before.
Yeah.
And also, I just didn't know how to handle everything, because now you're getting people coming to you saying, "Guba, oh, we saw you on TikTok. Oh, we love your content." And now I was Guba, like, what's the best way to respond to them so that you don't come across as rude or come across as cold? So it
Okay.
was quite shocking, but the more I showed content and the more like people started knowing me, the more I also got to learn. Oh, like, okay, cool. This is how you address people when they come to you and say this about you.
That's very nice. Because, I mean, now TikTok is breeding a celebrity out of you. Would you say that TikTok has made you a celeb?
I would, because if it wasn't for TikTok, then I wouldn't be who I am today and
Yeah.
where I am today. Because I feel like a lot of opportunities that I've acquired,
Yeah.
I got them through TikTok. It has like opened a lot of doors for me.
And then when you go to Zim, when last you went to Zimbabwe?
I haven't been in Zim ever since I came to SA. So it's been 2 years. This is my third year.
Have you abandoned Zim?
I haven't. The reason why I didn't want to go back is, firstly, I'm the only popular, openly gay Zimbabwean. And looking at how Zimbabwe is, I just haven't found the strength to go back and face the people, the community, the society, and whatsoever. Because I get so many hateful comments online. So I just wonder, oh, but like, if I'm there physically, what might happen?
Yeah, but after all, Zim is home for you.
Yeah, it's true.
And doesn't that hurt you that you get a lot of hateful comments from your country?
It does hurt. It does hurt, but then at the same time, I just feel like it's things that I have to go through in order for me to be a better person. In the sense that if I get another hateful comment, it won't pain me that much because I've already went through it. So it's just like any other comment, then I'll be able to just like brush it aside.
Were you openly gay in Zimbabwe, or you felt the freedom more in SA?
I can. Okay, I felt well, like there's more freedom in SA when I came to SA, but with Zim, I was never in the closet, if I can put it like that.
Yeah.
I was never in the closet, but then
You
at
were
the same
never as
time,
active.
exactly, I think I can put it like that. And also, there weren't like a lot of people that are part of the LGBTQ that you can look up to or bump into, and you actually learn a few things from them. So growing up in a society where a boy child is expected to, play with other boys, play soccer, play with trucks and whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it was quite a challenge for me, but then I just feel like it's something that I had to go through because of the environment that I was in. I believe, like, if I was in a different environment where there was education about the LGBTQ community, and then I would have like lived my life at a very young age.
Okay, what would you say to Zimbabwe right now?
I think
From top to bottom. Wait a minute. Did you hear me? From
I
top
heard
to
that.
bottom.
I heard that. I heard that.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that I can say is I think it's time that they start opening up more and accepting things for the way they are rather than fighting them and trying to suppress people and also trying to make people see things from from the like I always say like the vintage point of view, like this 1970s
Yeah.
where
The old
being
school.
exactly old school type of a vibe where like being gay was something like a taboo, something that shouldn't be shown out or something that shouldn't be talked about and whatsoever. I think we have long past those days. Now it's time to be open-minded and live in the moment.
Did you date in Zimbabwe?
Yes, I did.
And was it like secret?
Um,
I can only assume, thinking of Zim, under the late Mugabe.
yes.
And somehow, I don't know why, but somehow I think I loved Mugabe. You know that I think I loved Mugabe? And I know
Why?
that he was open. I mean, he could express himself. So
Yes,
I know
that's true.
that most people from Zimbabwe, when you say that, they will go like, why? I think most of you are thinking of the oppression and the warawara. And obviously you are Ndebele. You are not Shona.
Yeah.
And there is this division in Zimbabwe
Yes,
between the
that's
Shonas and the
And the
Ndebeles.
Ndebeles, yes,
And
that's
that division still persists until now. Is there anything you love to say in relation to the divisions between the Ndebeles and the Shonas?
Like, I honestly don't know what to say about that because I feel like it's something that we found there, and it's something that I feel like we cannot change in the sense that there's always been like Matebele land for Ndebeles and Mashona land like for Shona people, and also the fact that there is this belief yokuba Shona people have more privilege than Ndebeles. So I just feel like it's more of a political thing, and of which I'm not that much well educated about Zimbabwean politics. So I wouldn't really say much about that.
Yeah, I have been to Zim, right? And I had the privilege because I'm like amongst the few South Africans who have set foot in Zimbabwe.
That's
Most
true.
South Africans don't know how Zimbabwe look like.
That's true.
And when I went to Zimbabwe, then I got to Zimbabwe. I mean, people were warm. People were warm,
That's true.
but you could tell that the country has a great potential.
That's true.
And well, I experienced the Mashona land because I was at Zwishabane.
Oh, Zishawa.
Yeah, I
yes.
first landed at Maswingo, then from Maswingo to Zwishabane. Then from Zwishabane, a gentleman who is a pastor, because there was a conference, a church conference of some sort. So my spiritual father had some sons that side, like spiritual sons. Then we went to embrace one of them. He was about to be ordained as a bishop and stuff like that. Then from there, I was taken to Bulawayo. So that means I have seen part of the Mashona land and part of the Ndebele land,
Yes.
Yeah, but on my way back to South Africa, a gentleman who was sitting next to me, at first I saw a straight guy. Then later on, the guy, boom, was a gay, and I was like, oh my God.
Well, that's how it is. That's how it is. That's why you find, but like the minute Zimbabweans get an opportunity to leave the country, their lives change in the sense that you find, well, like, oh, okay, a couple of months down the line, he's now openly gay or she's now openly lesbian and whatsoever. It's because of the oppression that is in Zim in terms of sexuality and also the LGBTQ community, and the fact that there's no representation in Zim. The organizations that are there, I think there's only two. There's Treat for transgender people, and then there's SRC.
Do you also have transgender people in Zim?
Yeah, I have a close friend that is transgender, but then she lives between Zim and SA.
Because I would think that's extreme for Zimbabwe. To even go to that extent. If they can't take you being a sissy boy, what about you being a boy coming with some boobs?
I think it depends on where you stay. I feel like where you stay plays an important role.
Yeah.
In the sense that I think sometime last year, late last year, around November, October, November, there was this video of this boy that was trending, and then the mother was like, they even approached like a TV channel whatsoever, and everything was aired there, where the mother was talking about the boy being gay and this and that, and also but like she found him with a guy and this and that and whatsoever. So that's why I'm saying, well, like, I feel like the location that you are or where you stay plays an important role, because those people lived in a rural area type of a setup. So there isn't much education in the rural areas apart from the LGBTQ community. Education, yeah, on its own, it's something that they don't even take serious, because the minute a boy child grows up, they expect them to like start working on whatsoever, start like thinking of ways of making money or bringing money home so they can change the life of the family. And also, they have these expectations over like, okay, at this age they're supposed to be married, they should have a wife, they should have kids, they should even like, they even do this thing but like especially in rural areas, they normally have big yards, so they'll cut a certain portion of that yard and give it to him for him to start his family.
Yeah.
So it's not a situation of allowing him to say, well, like, okay, cool, what exactly do you want? But then they sort of like detect what he's supposed to do and how he's supposed to live.
And then how did your family digest your sexual orientation? And how did you disclose it to them?
Yo, indaba engaka. So,
Okay.
now the thing with my family is they never made me feel like I was different. So that's why I never saw any need for me to come out to them or whatsoever.
Yeah.
Mina, I just lived my life in jail like any other normal
And they could
person.
read between the lines.
Yes, they could read between the lines, because even like people would be talking, you understand, and then like Mina just didn't mind or whatsoever, and also my mom never like brought like anything to my attention or whatsoever. But then I think they saw everything and they could see what was happening, but then they were in denial, or they just didn't want to accept it.
Okay.
Because it shocked me when I can't really say I came out, because what happened was when I moved to SA, I was staying with my cousin. So we were building a relationship where, because Naesh was having her own life problems whatsoever. So it was a situation where like she can come to me and talk to me about her personal stuff. Yeah. And then I thought, like, that's the relationship that we were building. So I would also go to her and tell her my personal stuff. And open up. Yes, and open up. So she accepted everything. Then she was okay. Till one day, 17 April 2021.
You'll never forget
I'll never forget it.
17 April 2021.
Exactly. Okay. I woke up in the morning around 5, and then like there are a lot of messages from my mom. Then I'm like, okay, cool, definitely there's something wrong. And then my mom sends me screenshots of pictures that I had posted on my status with my then boyfriend. So and then like, now the messages follow, questions and whatsoever, the insults, disgrace to the family, this and that and whatsoever. So that's why I'm saying I don't think I came out to them, but then they just found out however way they found out. And then the reaction also did shock me, because they didn't make me feel different when I was staying with them while I was still growing up. They didn't make me feel different. So I just didn't see any need for me to come out to them. So that reaction did really shock me.
Do you ever think twice when you feel like you're homesick?
Twice about?
Going home, just like now you said.
Several times. There are days where life hits you really hard and you just want to be home, but then you can't because you have bills to pay, and if you are not there, it means you're not making money.
And then do you think that maybe there might be a life threat for you going back to Zimbabwe just because you are openly gay or something?
I have received threats online. So that's one thing that is making me to be a little bit like,
Reluctant.
about going back. But then definitely going back, I am going to do that. But then I always told myself, well, like if I'm going there, I won't announce that I'm going home. Because most of these threats are online, so you don't know where the person stays, you don't know what the person
Who?
looks like or
Yeah.
who the person is.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, when I'm going home, I'll just go home, won't announce, will be there for for whatever duration I'll be there, and then come back.
And then during Zimbabwean elections, how do you feel about that? Will you go cast your vote or something?
Um,
Would you like to?
Only if a few things changed. I would be interested in politics. I would be interested in voting and all of that. Because it's quite pointless voting because there's always one party that is going to win. And when that party wins, during elections, they just make promises, but then they never fulfill those promises.
They never deliver.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
for now, for example, now the economy is really bad in Zimbabwe, and it's been bad since 2018. But they've been making promises, but like they're going to fix it, they're going to create jobs, they're going to do this and that, and nothing has been done. So I'm just like, what's the purpose?
Yeah, recently I saw that Zimbabwe was introducing gold coins. And I thought about it. I said it is a good idea. But at the same time, I felt those gold coins will never reach someone from the rural and underprivileged,
Exactly.
what you call
Exactly.
families. And then what do you think about that? Were the gold coins eventually rolled out in Zimbabwe? I mean, according to your knowledge.
I don't even know. I don't even know anything about gold coins. But then all I can say is, one thing the ruling party that is good at is covering the front.
Okay.
So they always, target a certain group, and then they just try to get that group sorted or covered, and then it will appear as if, okay, if they can do it for these people, it means they're going to do it for the entire country.
Okay.
For example, when it's elections, they like this thing of like they'll be giving people like whether it's what do you call it, like 50 kgs of meal or
Yeah.
whether it's
Food parcels.
or food parcels and stuff like that, and then they'll be making promises, you'll be getting this every month if you vote for this party, this and that and whatsoever. Elections come, they go, the ruling party wins or whatever, because it's been the same ruling party.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to how things were.
Yeah, there is also something that I don't understand about Zimbabwean politics. Perhaps you might know. How many terms can a president enjoy in Zimbabwe?
I think for as long as they are in power, or as long as they live, because Mugabe was in power for how many years? Is it 30?
I think it's 30-something
Yes,
years.
30-something years.
Yeah, 30-something.
Yeah.
Mugabe was in power before you were born.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We found him in the presidential seat.
Because, I mean, this is what happened. When they removed Mugabe, and in the manner that they removed Mugabe, I was following the story online, and most people were celebrating, were saying, for the first time in my life, I'm going to experience a new president. But some were also disappointed, saying that there's no need to celebrate because Mnangagwa is a product of Mugabe again. So it's like we have lost this Mugabe but gained another Mugabe.
Exactly.
Is that how you feel?
That's exactly how it is, or how it was.
Okay.
And the tricky thing about this whole thing was that he made the entire economy worse. Because with Mugabe in power, when shops would raise prices on food, he would release a statement and say by 5 o'clock, all prices should be back to normal. And they would. Everything will go down.
Yeah.
Like he was one person who could command power.
He was
and
autocratic.
People, exactly.
Yeah,
and
would you
people
say
would follow
Mugabe
that.
was autocratic, like a dictator of some sort?
I guess we can say that.
Yeah, I think he was, because Mugabe will not consult. This is what I'm getting.
Exactly.
And then Mugabe will just release a statement and say, hey,
exactly. this should be done
Wow.
at this time, and it will be done.
Wow. And also let's talk about Mugabe's Zimbabwe's currency. There was Zim dollar.
Yes.
And let's say Zim dollar took a break. I don't want to say Zim dollar died, but let's say it retired but took a break
or went
whatever.
to exile or something.
But then something happened to Zim dollar. And after Zim dollar, they introduced the bonds, I think.
Yes.
I also heard about the bonds, and there was this hype about the bonds. And then, but before the bonds, it was US dollar.
Yes, it was rands and US dollars.
Rands and US dollars. But I think US dollars became
more powerful, yes.
Like the currency of the country.
It was like now the currency of the country.
Yeah. Then with time, I think the banknotes, I don't know, they lost the quality and stuff like that, and now they were no longer usable and stuff like that. And Zimbabwean banks ran out of money, right? Then the bonds, like the bond notes, and the bond notes seems like did not work. Now I heard they introduced the gold coins. But if really the gold coins are out there, I think I would have one, because I mean in South Africa, you will agree. There are so many Zimbabweans, especially in Joburg.
That's true.
Zimbabweans are so many. Now, didn't you get attacks in South Africa as well? I know that you also got hateful comments from your country.
Yes.
Then now let's talk about the harshness in this country, if there is any.
I did, but then I think firstly it's because people couldn't pick up that I'm Zimbabwean.
But your accent is strong, honey.
Yes, my accent. But then I'm someone who pick up from my accent and be like, okay, cool. You speak Zulu, but it's not the Zulu we know.
Yeah.
Which Zulu is this? Or they'll be like, which Ndebele is it? Right. So people couldn't actually tell that I'm not South African till I put it out there. But like, okay, cool, I'm not South African.
You are Zimbabwean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you know how it is. Then like the whole I can't really say xenophobic statements and whatsoever, but then I do get those sometime. And I don't know what's the hype about June. Apparently there's something that is happening this year in June. So I get such comments June uyafika, we'll be going back home. And
Hi man.
I do.
Are there some threats? Can I tell you what?
I am telling you.
Can I tell you something?
I am
Those
telling you.
threats, you know what? I take them seriously. Because when the first xenophobic attack happened, I was living in this area. I'm long in this area. My hometown is Mpumalanga, not too far from here. We drive 1 hour, 30 minutes to home. So Gauteng and home, we one region, so to say. Then there was the first xenophobic attack. It was horrible. This area was burnt to ashes. The second xenophobic attack. But now with the second, the third, and the whatever, because they come in seasons, you get the rumors. And when you get the rumors, you better take them seriously. Because there are those people who are orchestrating these xenophobic attacks. And I don't know why, because at the end of the day with those attacks, do you know what? Everybody suffers.
That's true.
Whether you are a foreigner or you are a South African, and even South Africans die.
That's true.
With the first xenophobic attack, there is a guy who was fellowshipping in my church. His brother was killed. Because when those attackers attack, sometimes they can't differentiate who is who.
Exactly.
Do you get it?
Yes.
They ended up killing that guy, and that guy was a Zulu from KwaZulu Natal. And then how do you feel living in a place with such threats?
I feel like that's one of the reasons why I work hard, so that I can make it out of this area. Because to be honest, Yabona areas like Abo Four Way, Sentin, and whatsoever, you would never hear about such attacks whatsoever. It's very rare. It's very
Okay.
rare.
Okay.
So I feel like that's one of the reasons that pushes me to work hard, because I'm just like, for my safety. I remember I was even telling my friend over, like, you know what, even like when I was moving here and then I saw that my lease was 1 year, I was like, I wish it was 6 months, so that like in those 6 months I'll just make sure that I'm out of here, so that whatever happens in June, I won't be around.
Oh my God. And then how do you make a living in SA? What trade are you in?
Um, it's just content creation. So everything that I do is content creation. Then also my brand. So that's how I make money.
You are such a bold gentleman. You are such a bold gentleman. And I don't know what made you decide to leave Zimbabwe. And I don't think it is ever sweet for anybody to live in a foreign land.
It's not.
Because when you live in a foreign land, you live under some
That's
circumstances
true.
and some limitations, and you will constantly be reminded that you are a foreigner.
Yeah, that's true.
And as for yourself, because this content creation puts you in the public eye. And again, that means you also need to make sure that, your documentation in the country are always on
Exactly.
point
Exactly.
and up to date. Because if not, even the government or whosoever can decide to make an example with you and say, because when we get this one arrested or whatever and stuff like
Exactly.
that,
It was sort of like
then we
set an
will
example.
send the message,
Yes.
Oh God. And do you mingle with other Zimbabweans here? How are you to each other when you are outside Zimbabwe? Do you have this brotherhood? Oh, yes, from Zim, I'm from Zim, so what?
I don't want to lie. I honestly feel like most of my followers are Zimbabweans that stay in SA. Um our relationship is quite, it's quite good. I hardly receive hateful for comments,
Yeah,
like from people that are around here, that are
yeah,
Zimbabwean and stay around here.
yeah,
So it's always nice being with them. Even when we bump into each other, it's always like hi, and
yeah.
just maybe talking Shona and whatsoever, because they want that thing. But like,
Do you also
you,
speak Shona?
just the basics.
Yeah.
Just the basics. Just the
Yeah. Okay.
basics.
I
Yeah.
had the privilege of working with Zimbabweans when I was doing early childhood development.
Oh yeah.
So then I learned a bit of Shona. That's why when I went to Zimbabwe, I was so appreciative of them teaching me their language, because when I got there, I was excited that I could hear one or two things and stuff like that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
then I've got this funny question. If you had a chance to ungay yourself, would you?
I would.
You would.
I would, because
Oh
I feel
God.
like I have this struggle with my
Sexuality?
sexuality, in the
Yeah.
sense that there are days where you feel more masculine and then there are days where you feel feminine, and it always messes up with your emotions, because you end up being moody, because like the shift from being masculine to feminine and also going back and whatsoever. So it always messes up with my mind, and
Yeah.
sometimes I just wish, but like,
You were
maybe
just a
life
straight
wouldn't be
guy.
like this if I was just like any other straight guy.
And then you sometimes feel masculine and feel feminine, and which one seems to be constant?
I think my feminine side.
Your feminine side
Yeah,
is actually constant.
I'm more in touch with my feminine
And
side.
then are you dating currently? Hey! Woo! Woo! Are you dating a married man? Maybe that's the question I should ask.
Not even.
Are you?
Um, am I dating? I don't know. But I am talking to someone. That's what I know. That's what I know. I am talking to someone.
You are,
So,
or you are making eyes with someone? Or
yeah.
else you have friends with benefits? Or
Not
a
as such.
friend with
Not as
benefits?
such. Not as such. I think now with this one, it's road to a relationship. Hopefully, there's no short left.
Okay. And then, would you say there's loneliness in the gay community or in the gay life?
There is. I'm just going to say this from experience,
Yeah.
from both my side and also the people that are around me. The reason why I'm saying there is loneliness is because I sometimes find my friends settling for things that I would never settle for.
Oh, I
And
love
you
that.
can, like, when you have a conversation.
Excuse me? Settling for things that I would never settle for.
Yeah. 'Cause, like,
Yay!
well, sometimes when you have conversations with them, then they tell you about like, oh, this person is doing this and that and whatsoever. I feel like our personalities are not the same. And also, then I'm like, why are you with this person? Then they're like, they just don't want to be alone. But then I'm like, it doesn't make sense because at the end of the day, you're not happy.
You are not happy.
Yeah.
I think I've seen your content where you speak about Zulu men. Do you have something with the Zulu men? Do you like them? Do you find them attractive to you?
Uh, well, the person that I'm talking to is Zulu.
Maybe that's why you
But
made a content about
I just,
Amadoda, Amazulu. I remember that
you know, like
content.
it started off as a joke and whatsoever because I was just when I started like talking about Zulu and whatsoever, it was just an experience that I had with my ex. So that
Your ex was also a Zulu.
yes, he was also Zulu.
Okay.
So I saw, but like, okay, cool. People are liking the fact that I keep on mentioning Zulu men, Zulu men. I was like, okay, cool. Go show in order for me to, in order for my content to stay relevant, I need to keep on mentioning Zulu men, Zulu men.
Yeah.
Not that I have anything against Zulu
But
men. I
ayashaya phela
don't.
amaZulu men futhi, you know that.
I, it's over now. But then at the end
Oh
of the
my
day,
God.
I don't mean any harm. Because
Yeah.
I've actually bumped into a few. Then they're like, we're now like, yes, papel or whatsoever. You always say this about Zulu and whatsoever. Then I'm just like, but it's just content at the end of the day. It's just something to laugh about. It's nothing deep.
And most people who are not on TikTok or social media, they will not understand
Yes.
that content can be fiction.
Yes.
Because, I mean, whatever you say, it's like comedians, you know.
Exactly.
Comedians will say anything about
anyone.
anything
Yes.
and everybody, you
Yes.
know. But that has nothing to do with an individual direct or a group of people.
true.
You see. But then, anyway, what do you wish for yourself? And I think I also need to ask you this question. What do you wish for Zimbabwe? And when you speak, don't speak, just speak direct to Zimbabwe because Zimbabwe is watching.
What do I wish for myself? I just wish I can live the life that I want. The life that I've always dreamed of, the life that I have written down on my diaries, and the life that I am supposed to live. And what I wish for Zim is understanding, acceptance, and peace.
And love.
Definitely.
Yeah, in
Most
fact,
importantly, love.
I don't know why would Zimbabwe be so negative to people of a different sexual orientation. This thing is there. It's all over.
That's true.
And there's nothing that Zimbabwe can do. There is nothing that Kenya can do.
Exactly.
There is nothing that Uganda can do. You can like oppress all you want, but they will remain. And now let's talk about this. I think I have to ask you this. Do you believe in gay marriage?
I do.
Do you?
I do.
I don't.
Why?
I don't think this thing should be officiated.
Why?
I don't feel like it. I feel like, okay, people can be in a union, but I think we should just leave marriage between a man and a woman. But then I am not against it, but I don't see myself getting into that space. And if there are those people who are die hard into, what you call, into it, let them proceed. But for myself, I just distance myself from that. And again, for a country like Zimbabwe that is still battling with acceptance, and then you want to bring gay marriage into it, or else you're bringing in a man, then you say, now this is my husband. So they will stone you to death.
The tricky thing about Zim is it's only homophobic to people that are nobodies. What do I mean about people that are not nobodies?
Yeah.
People that are not born in political families.
Okay.
We have abantwana babu minister who are actually part of the LGBTQ community, but then the fact that they have money and power, indaba zabo aziphumeli ngaphandle. Do you understand?
And also they are not victimized.
Exactly. And also the family always tries, well, like whenever there's a scandal involved, the family always tries to hide everything so that it doesn't get out to the public.
Okay. How do you think Zimbabwe can better themselves in this line when it comes to acceptance or so? What can be done, or what do you suggest could be done?
At this point, I can't really say like Zim needs education about the LGBTQ community, because I feel like right now you don't actually need to go to school for you to learn something. We have access to the internet, we have access to Google. So it's just a matter of a person making up their mind and saying, I want to know more about the LGBTQ community. I want to understand what exactly they do, how they live and whatsoever. And then that's when your journey to acceptance starts. But then I just feel like if a person has not made that decision, you're like, okay, cool, I am willing to try and understand what these people are all about.
And going through.
And exactly. So if a person has not made up their mind and said that, there's nothing that can be done.
Yeah, in fact, recently I think there was a story. I don't know if it is Somizi that was supposed to have a gig in Zimbabwe.
In Harare.
In Harare.
And then the ministers cancelled him and also the church.
Yeah, the church.
The church. They cancelled this gig and make sure that he doesn't come to Zim. But Mohale is always in Zim.
What is Mohale doing in Zim?
I don't know. He's always in Victoria Falls. So I just don't understand what's the difference between Somizi and Mohale. So they saw it better. Yeah, it's true. They saw it better to not allow Somizi to come to the country because he's gay, but then they allow Mohale to come to the country.
You know what? The final thing I think that we must say, let's say if your president Mnangagwa was here and you had to whisper something in his ear, what would you say to Mnangagwa? Just direct.
I think the only thing that I would say is I feel like he should allow the youth in politics. I feel like if they allow the youth in politics, a lot is going to change. In the sense that the youth is more equipped than them. In the sense that like we are now living in a technological world, and most people with the most knowledge is the youth. So a lot can change for Zimbabwe if the youth were involved in politics.
Yeah. And you know what, Ndoyisile, thank you for coming. And I think I must ask you, do you have a question for me or something?
Do I have a question? Are you happy?
I think I am happy.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think I am happy because I understand life and I know what matters in life. You know, money, fame, and all these things, they can only make you happy for a while.
Yes.
But the true happiness, I think, is peace. Recently on my WhatsApp status, I just wrote that in the end, success is peace. So I am pursuing my peace. And me pursuing my peace, that means I am pursuing my happiness.
Yes,
You
that's
know,
true.
yeah, that's it. But I would love to echo a few things that you said on this show, and especially to Zimbabweans, because we also had a show that also became big in Zimbabwe because the content concerned people from Zimbabwe. I asked you a question, what do you wish? I think, I mean, that was the question, or something. What do you wish for yourself? Then you said you wish you could live the life that you write down on your diary and stuff. Then I asked you a question. What was that question? That will you ungay yourself? And you said yes. And that is evidence enough that you are a victim of a circumstance that you find yourself into. And it is not easy to unshackle yourself. You are like bound and found yourself in this situation. But if you had means to be a straight Zimbabwean guy, if you had means to be that acceptable Zimbabwean guy, you will do it without a second thought. And that should send a strong message to Zimbabweans that whatever situation you're beginning yourself is beyond your control. And you have mentioned a word many times, I don't know how many times, acceptance. So in other words, they don't have to go to bed with you.
Exactly.
They don't have to go to bed with another gay guy.
That's true.
But they should just accept you for being gay and not victimize you and even putting your life at risk.
Exactly.
I mean, do you get what I'm saying? Because again, I think being gay, right? I mean, as we say, it's more than having a sexual encounter with a person of the same sex.
Oh, that's true.
This is you. There is a song by Sibisi that says, "This is my life. This is my life." I mean, I'm just giving you this homework to go Google that song. And Sibisi says, I bang my own drum. To me, this is pretty. But to you, it could be noise. And this is me. I don't have to live in shame. So let me be and let me live. Maybe this is the message we are sending out to people. Because times are tough. And by the way, now you are 23, you don't have a child. Have you ever had a sexual encounter with a person of the opposite sex?
Penetration, no.
No penetration. Yeah. And then maybe as kids when you were playing or something like that.
Exactly.
I mean, do you understand?
Exactly. Yeah.
So in general, maybe you might say you have never had a sexual encounter with a person of the opposite sex. And that also limits the chances of you having a child. And for some people, this is what frustrates them, is that, I mean, gay people will not make babies. And I understand, I think that this is a famous statement that Mugabe said, that put gay men in a house for 20 years and come back and see if there will be children or whatever, you know. Because I think also gays are reduced to sex and to gay sex. Where else you can still be gay and not be active in a sexual activity. I mean, do you get it? Yeah, and stuff. But I must say, thank you for this interview. How do you find this interview today? Have you ever had one like this?
No. No. But then I'm just happy that like it's more like an eye opener.
Yeah.
It's going to educate someone out there. It's going to maybe change someone perspective about the LGBTQ community and also Zimbabwe as a country.
And also Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And also I think you should tell the people of Zimbabwe that you love your country. And I mean, I think they should know that. If I was from Zimbabwe, I was going to be proud of my country no matter what. I was going to blow the horn of my country wherever I go. Because after all, that is a soil that begets you.
That's true.
Yeah, and also that is the soil and the people that made you who you are. And also Zimbabweans are contributing positively even to South Africa. I know quite a lot of Zimbabweans who are contributing positively to South Africa. Although whenever the name Zimbabweans pop, it's all negative
That's true.
from the ignorant people, you know. And thank you very much. We love you. And
You.
we just wish you all the best. Thank you for taking your time to join us today. And we wish more TikTokers can do it, because some TikTokers, you know, they are big headed. I don't know why. I mean, just for being famous on TikTok and then you think you have conquered the world. There are some, when you call, there is one TikToker who is faking to have an admin, right? Oh, yes, they are faking. Okay, this is so and so assistant. Excuse us, you are just a TikToker, honey. I mean, do you understand? It is
That's
happening. And
that's
don't,
on a different level.
yeah, and don't allow that to get into your head.
Exactly.
And which TikToker? I mean, do you have TikTokers that you had a beef with? You know,
Not
sometimes
as
for TikTok, we are
such.
new.
Not as such, but then there
Yeah.
are a few that I just don't like.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. And I think, I mean, that is also okay. But keep on doing what you're doing and plan big. I grew up different in my community. And by then, the gay thing was not popular. People, I mean, we didn't even know there's a term gay. It was me and another guy in my township that were actually different, because we were so open and crazy and stuff like that. So I know the pain of being different, and I know the pain that you can't undo who you are. You can't change it. Just think of me now trying to act straight. You know, I think I would frustrate the straight world. It's okay, so let me wrap. Hi guys, thank you. This was the Benster Show with Ndoyisile, a famous TikToker. What is your TikTok handle?
It's just Ndoyisile Ndumzosibindi.
Oh, thank you
So
very
it's
much.
Ndoyisile Ndumzosibindi, and it's going to pop up.
And thank you very much. And Zimbabwe, please change. And nothing will be lost. And the word that popped up here is acceptance. It doesn't mean that when you accept a person, when you accept them, now you will go to bed with them, or you are all gay or something. Just let them be, and understand that being gay or homosexual or trans or whatever, it is a life struggle. It is not a choice. It's not something you wear like this. You see, today I wore this. I can take it off anytime. But that is something, it is the fiber of who that person is. And with love to Zimbabwe, with love to South Africa and everybody, and even to your potential lover.